Milwaukee. Milwaukee, what a weekend. I know it was going down here. Woo! Man, welcome to The Truth 101.7, and I'm your host, Manon Sabeer of the Grapevine. We're about to pick some grapes in Milwaukee. You already know what time it is. It's Monday. You know, the grease is still a little warm from yesterday, day before yesterday. And we got a full plate of business going on. It's about to happen. It's happening. Straight up. The president of the United States picked up the phone. He called the president of FIFA, the international governing body of, international soccer, over a red card. The red card. So he didn't call him over a peace treaty. He didn't call him over a trade deal. He didn't even call him to ask him how his family was doing. He didn't call him about none of that. The man really said, let my player play. That's really what he said. It was like Moses parting the Red Sea. He just was parting the World Cup Red Sea. And we're going to get into that. I think, it's time. It's time for us to talk about this infamous red card. Yes, this infamous red card, and how we need to bring it home. Then we coming home. We're going to talk about this past weekend right here in our own city, right here in good old Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and our own Summerfest. Yes, I wasn't here this weekend. I was somewhere else, minding my own business, and from what I heard, there were a few things going on. Like we had fireworks, barbecue. President of the United States picked up the phone, called his buddy. And then on Summerfest grounds, we had a few fights. Yes, not just a few. It was a number of them. They had a fight card, they had the prelims, and then the main event.
I'm saying it was better than the UFC thing at the White House.
Oh, it's better than the UFC. It was better than the UFC at the White House? Dang, that's crazy. Was Tank Davis, was he performing? Did he
Basically.
Woo. It was nothing but so from what I heard, it was a lot of girls fighting. Man. I don't know. I needed to talk about what's really going on with our young girls. Because right now, what I'm seeing now ain't matching what I grew up seeing. Like real life. It's not matching. And we need to have real grown conversations about what used to be like that moral compass that we were governed by, and what's going on right now. Because from what I saw, like those fights were absolutely vicious, and it was like it was no break, no barrier. It was, I'm going for the throat, and I'm going to come get you. That's from what I saw, and it's hard to see. It's hard to view, but at times I guess we got to view it. I guess we got to see what's going on. So, yeah, it's not what I grew up seeing. It's not what I was used to when girls used to fight back in my day. Man, it more than likely most people that were standing around had to wait to get into it. So, yeah, I want to see this. I want to dig into this topic because I think it's very important for our city to analyze what's going on with our young girls. We don't have enough of those conversations going on. So needless to say, we're not going to leave here this grapevine and pick these grapes and leave you heavy. We're going to talk about what the health. So it's a 10-minute conversation about what's going on in your body and your spirit and how to make those two work for your summer body. So I'm gonna try to get my summer body together too. But first, here's what actually happened with your guy, Donald Trump. So here's the real story. So this guy, Folarin Balogun, he's a Black American soccer player. He's a striker, one of the best in the world. He gets a red card. Red card is when you tackle somebody or you chop them down with your legs. You get called out for it. It's a serious card. They actually kick you out the game. You got to miss a game. You get kicked out of the game. You miss a game, and then you only come down to like you lose. You subtract a player, and this is very interesting because he gets a red card against Bosnia. You get it, Bosnia. It's a European squad, and they didn't even get a chance to challenge the red card, so he gets kicked out the game. Really, for FIFA rules, international soccer, you're supposed to sit out a game. Except, they have a game against Belgium, and Belgium's supposed to be a pretty good squad. President Trump gets on the phone, and he got on the phone with his guy, the governing body, FIFA president Gianni Infantino, and asked him to review the game and also the red card. So days later, yesterday, the suspension got lifted, and Balogun is able to play for the Team USA. So he's not out the World Cup. He is in the World Cup. He is playing in the World Cup. The other governing body, I guess is another UEFA, comes out and says that this guy crossed the red line. And some of the old executives said that they don't even get over, like they used to get political phone calls, but those phone calls will go unanswered because what is going on in the field can't overturn a politician can't overturn what's going on in the field. That's plain and simple. This has never been done. So this is very, very interesting because, and I know you guys, I want to sit this right in your lap. I don't think that this was really about a red card. I think this was about a man who knows exactly where to plant his flag for high level maximum exposure. And sports is the softest, most easiest place to do it. It crosses every line that divides us. It crosses race. You think about it. Soccer crosses race, like all forms of culture. It crosses class. It crosses politics. Like, it doesn't matter. Everybody in America wants to see America win. Plain and simple. If you're watching, for example, Wimbledon, and you have American players, American tennis players, and they're playing against the number one tennis player in the world, and that person could be your favorite. Now, they could be on every publication, be America's Next Top Model, all that. If an American comes up against this player in the finals, you're going to be rooting for who? You're going to be rooting for the American. Same with the UFC. Same exact thing. So if you're a politician, and I'm going to say this to young politicians and old politicians, if you're a politician and you learn one thing, learn this. Because this guy he's mastered the effortless pitch, and the effortless pitch to see America win is attach yourself to winners. That's what he's done. He wants to attach himself to winners. He knows people will forgive you almost automatically. So that's not a compliment to President Trump. That's not a compliment to him. It's just that he knows exactly or has been advised how to play the game. He knows that he needs to have winners on his side, and this is how he wins. He wins by calling up one of his friends to get a red card overturned. Not only is he able to get a red card overturned, but you think about it, he chased this same guy down in order to get a peace prize from the soccer governing body. Since he didn't get the Nobel Peace Prize and he chased that down, he wanted to get a peace prize for somebody. So he manufactured himself a peace prize from somebody, and it was soccer, and he attached himself to it. I mean, you got to give it to him. He's tight with his boy, and his guy gave him an award for it. This is something we got to chew on. We're going to chew on some more and pick some more grapes when we come back on the Grapevine.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
There's a war going on outside, no man is safe from. You could run, but you can't hide forever from these streets that we done took. You walking with your head down, scared to look. You shook, cause ain't no such things as halfway crooks. They never around when the beef cooks in my part of town. It's similar to Vietnam. Now we all grown up and old. And
Welcome back to the Grapevine. We're picking some more grapes. I'm your host, Manon Sabeer, and we're talking about your president and how he called another governing body of a sport to reverse a on-field decision in soccer. Like who does that? Who actually does that? And that's your president. It's less about winners. It's less about winners, losers, and a red card or some who gets kicked out of a game or whatever. It's less about that. It's more about how he presents his machine, how he presents his political machine as an agenda piece, so people will view him as a good guy. That's what this is about. And I think we need to go a little deeper on this, because I don't think this was an accident that he just stumbled into. He didn't stumble into this as an accident. This is a pattern. This is a pattern. Think about it. This man, and I'm going to say this again, this man chased down a Nobel Peace Prize, lost, and then turned around and invented his own peace prize. He literally called it a peace prize. So instead, this is the other crazy wild part, is he's set to be a part of the trophy ceremony at the World Cup. So in a few weeks, I think it's my birthday, July 19th, I think he's set to be a part of that particular ceremony, the trophy ceremony. So this isn't his first rodeo attaching himself to a sport on a global stage. I think at this point, it has an American underdog story built in. And here's the part I really want y'all to know and to chew on, is the question ain't really, did he call FIFA? We know he called FIFA, and that's, supremely confirmed. He said it. He said it himself. The real question is whether it actually needed him to work, or if he just made sure everybody saw him make the call. So either way, The red card gets lifted, or red card is lifted, or not. But he gets to look like the good guy. He gets to look like the guy who fights for American sports, American legacy, American winners. He gets to look great. And that's the tactic. Sports for him is the backdrop. So it could have been anything with cameras on it. It could have been him, it could have been him racing horses. It could have been him eating grapes. It could have been him, scratching his ashy ankles. It could have just been anything, right? Literally. But for him, sports is the backdrop. It makes him feel like he's commanding gladiators. You see what happened at the UFC thing. It makes him feel like, hey, this is my country. We have people who fight, and they're gonna fight to the death. That's who he is. Straight up. So sports is his backdrop. And honestly, I'll say something that might be even deeper. The sports crowd is not going anywhere. And soccer specifically is getting bigger in our communities. Every single year you'll find kids, and I seen it more now than ever, especially in the North, is yes, you can find a lot of folks who are playing all kinds of sports outside. But now I'm seeing kids who are playing sports at different levels. Of course, you got the peewee, the elementary, and the junior, and all of that. But our kids are asking. They're asking for these particular sports. They're asking to play in arenas that is, and especially our kids, black kids. But they're asking to play in arenas that pretty much weren't made for us, maybe 10, 15 years ago. Straight up. And I think that's a part of soccer right now. Soccer has become really, really inclusive. It's become a big community. And kids are helping the communities break down the barriers, the racial barriers, the cultural barriers. Kids are doing that. Kids are doing that right now, today. And the person who is, I'm not going to say he's leading the charge. What I am going to say is he's using the charge. He's using the charge in order for him to feel better. He's using this charge. And that's foul. That's really, really foul. Y'all know I like that word, but that's really foul. Mm-hmm. For him to use the charge of winning in a sport that's right now being run by under 25-year-olds in relationship to 25 and under-year-olds, in relationship to who plays soccer in this country. If you ask any grandmother or in the hood, in our neighborhoods, if you ask any mom how many soccer games they've been to, they'll probably give you a good number, because their kids are now playing a sport that doesn't have to that you don't have to pay out so much money on. You don't have to buy much equipment. You just have to buy some shin guards, some socks, a shirt, and some cleats. If that. For some kids, it's just some tennis shoes and some shin guards, and that's it. So he recognized, your president recognized this, that if he's going to inform the public, if he's going to win by any means necessary, he's going to use whatever is at his disposal in order to make sure that he wins. So it's less about the red card. It's less about the soccer. It's less about his friendship with the soccer governing bodies. It's more of him making sure that his veneer looks shiny. So I'm going to say this. So when a politician wants to be seen standing next to our kids winning Milwaukee, we need to learn some tricks of the trade. We need to look sharp enough. But we also, as a community, we need to clock it. So when our politicians come out to, certain games, football, basketball games, and they're there and they're raising their hand up, waving at people and stuff like that, we need to, as a community, we need to clock it, because it's not just a coincidence. It's not an accident. For example, like Donald Trump, when he interrupted the New York Spurs and Spurs finals game, and he won, man, that was an uproar. It was people who were waiting for a really long period of time in order to get into the stadium, just so he could watch the game. That's something that I want everybody to chew on. You got to chew on that. For a person to one, always want to be recognized in a really just wholesome sport, be it whether it's, and we've seen him at many, many events, but his favorite events are the UFC. So whether or not you like the UFC or not, he's going to show up, and he's going to garner that crowd of individuals. And then he knows that internationally, in order for him to be liked, he has to use an international platform, and that international platform is soccer. And then he recognizes the demographics of people who play basketball. And he knows that if he comes out to basketball, whether or not he is booed from rooter to the tutor, he knows that he's going to be at that game, and he's going to show his face as much or more than the previous presidents who have come to basketball games and have watched them. That's what he's going to do. So shout out to the young kid that is caught up in the middle of this political drama. Shout out to you, for hanging in there and not making a comment. Glad you didn't, but you are in the middle of it. Later on, we want to hear your story. Trump did his thing, whether or not we believe it or not, whether or not he talked to the guy or not, there are some facts around this particular story. And I want to make sure that the young kid doesn't get caught up in this melee of political stories and dramas and facts and facts or nots. All right, y'all. When we come back, we're going to talk about Summerfest and the fights that went on in Summerfest.
Tried. Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. International underground thunder bounce when I stop the ground. Like a million elephants, a silverback orangutan. You can't stop a train. Who wants some? Don't come unprepared. I'll be there, but when I leave there, better be a household name. Brother man telling us it ain't gonna rain. So now we sitting in a drop top soaking wet.
Yes. Welcome back. I'm their host, Manon Sabeer, the Grapevine, who about to pick some grapes. And I had a crazy weekend. Man. I drove to another state. I drove through mad states, and it was a lot of work. I did that by myself. But I want to talk about what happened because this was a very interesting weekend at Summerfest, and I want to bring to light a number of items that were, I guess, laid out in front of me this weekend. I think we need to talk about it, and we need to talk about our young girls and how they have been almost co-opted in a way. So, Zach, we got the clip. Okay. And I think what we'll see is young girls having a scuffle, or they had a scuffle, and man, it turned ugly. It turned into a small melee, and I want to talk about this. This is absolutely, I don't know. It's not cool. It's not cool at all, and I'm hurt. I'm hurt by how our young girls are portrayed in the light of individuals who really don't care. Man, it's not a good thing. I'm at a loss for words. I seen this all too much throughout, these last couple of years. I've seen this all too much these last couple of years. Young girls fighting each other, having their way with each other in these brawls, just scratching, clawing at each other, trying to ultimately maim or kill the next person, and not just beat them up. Just sometimes, and a lot of times, there's no stopping unless somebody else jumps in. So this is not the best light. So this weekend, from what I heard at Summerfest, it was a lot of, from what some folks had told me, it was a lot of fights. It was multiple fights that broke out. It was a number of people that got ejected from the Summerfest grounds. And here's the part that has me sitting up straight. The video going around on Facebook now shows, these fights, girls pushing and shoving, security or somebody else is in between, like trying to break them up, trying to get them from fighting, and just a whole crowd of people standing around watching with their phones out. Nobody's trying to jump in to get these girls from acting out. It's just, the crazy part is for someone to pull out their phone and record it while two young girls are going ham. They're going crazy over each other, having to and some girls have to defend themselves, and then multiple fights break out over and over again. Like this is a serious whackness of our community. Young girls whose parents entrusted them to go to Summerfest and have a good time. Hey girl, here you go. They put money on their Cash App, or if these girls would work and they got money or whatever, and they're going to have a good time. They put on their best clothes, they put on their best shoes, they put on even their best behavior, for them. And then they go and they see somebody steps on their foot, whatever it is, and it's on site. For real. It's on site. And no matter what a person says, no matter what a person does, they're not coming down from bashing this particular person on site, no matter what. So I want to be careful here. I haven't seen anything from the police or Summerfest security about reports and confirming who was actually involved. I'm not trying to put that out there because it's young girls. So I'm not going to present that as gospel, but the videos are out, and these clips are pretty much accurate. So it's worth talking about. Summerfest is supposed to be our lakefront moment for everybody. It's a part of our culture. Summerfest has been around for however many years, 50 or whatever years. And it's a part of what we do as individuals here in Milwaukee. Is what we wait for. It's the largest. We proclaim it as one of the largest music festivals in the world. 800 plus acts come, small and or large. They come there, and they want and families come. They bring their kids. They come down there, and they want to enjoy themselves. Sometimes a lot of times there's young kids in strollers. They got the parents now got the leashes. Why you got your kids on a leash? I don't know. Just tell your kid to stop running around. But it's all good. Put the leash on. But it's a real shift. It's a real shift in how people experience that space. It's a real shift in how everybody is supposed to belong in this city. It's the real shift in the moral compass of our young folks. In particular, today, in particular, our young girls. And I want to say something about the crowd standing around recording instead of stepping in. In one of the scenes, you see a guy who is taking his phone, and the girls, he's tall. He's taller than me. I'm short, but he's taller than me, and he's taking his phone and he's using it to film the girls fighting. And this is a form of voyeurism, and it ain't like it's not, these girls aren't people that you know. This is not, a part of like some fantasy you got. This ain't cool. So you got people who are filming this, and they're young girls, and they're posting this online, and then they're perpetuating it by, majority of the kids are like, this is our culture. This is what we do. I've talked to young girls, and I know young girls who have said when they see a specific person in the street or wherever, it's on site. Multiple young people have said this. That is a real slap in the face to our society. That is a real slap in the face to our society. It's a real you have to make a conscious decision. You have to make a conscious decision to know that your default in multiple situations is to fight somebody on site, whether or not you know that they have a weapon and or not. It does not matter. You're going to continue to climb the ladder of the ego in order for this person to be eliminated. And this is not a small thing. This is a large thing. This is a real problem because we have gatherings regularly, especially during the summertime, that our young people are supposed to enjoy. And this is not young people. I remember a statistic that said that only 4% out of 100 are bad actors in any situation like this. So this is not all our young folks. There were a lot of young folks that were probably just walking past like, man, these guys, I don't want to jump into this. I'm tired. I need to go home. I got to work in the morning, whatever they got to do. But there's 4% of these individuals are making it bad. They're making it bad. I know the Milwaukee police are going to meet with the head of security at Summerfest, and they're going to change the rules. They're going to continue to grip down on those policies, those ordinances, and those tickets are going to go up and up and up. Not only are you going to get a $500 ticket or whatever it is for fighting on Summerfest grounds, but it's going to be worse.
Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Them cheap motherfuckers better know.
Yes. Welcome back to the Grapevine. And we've been exploring a number of topics. Trump and his stepping in with the red card. And now girls fighting at Summerfest. I want to know if you guys were down there. Hit me, 833-212-1017. 833-212-1017. What do you think about these girls fighting like guys? But first, at UW Milwaukee, students don't have to wait until college to start building their future. War Ready lets students in K through 12 join in hands-on programs across campus from science and tech to arts, sports, and more. Students try new things, meet new people, and build skills that matter. Get started today at uwm.edu/warready. Now, were you guys down there? I mean, I wasn't, but I want to know if would you jump in to a fight if you saw it happening? If you saw a fight happening, would you jump in? And I need y'all to stay with me. So growing up, if you saw a big public fight with a crowd around it, more times than not, it's guys, right? Like, am I wrong? Am I bugging here? Am I wrong? It's more likely it's guys. And this was just the pattern most of us grew up watching. Most of us grew up watching the pattern of guys fighting and then people kind of watching around, and whether or not it's at school, whether or not it's at a park or a party, it just got out of hand. And then, guys will duke it up, and then it'll just, guys will box. Maybe some other guys will come in, and maybe you had like 2-on-3, 1-on-4. But it wasn't girls fighting alongside their guys, or it wasn't girls breaking out on the side fighting with other people, or it wasn't girls looking on their phone. I ain't even talking about how old I am, but it wasn't girls talking about, girl, you need to click over and answer that phone so you can learn whether or not the girl gonna fight you or not at the park. Nah. Or it probably did happen, but it was a lot of in-betweens in order for you to meet up with somebody at McGovern. or Lincoln Park or something like that, Washington Park, to get up and fight, get up and box or whatever. But it wasn't really girls doing that much. I'm excited to hear what you guys got to say. I'm going to take a caller. I want to know, Black Conscious, what you think? Yes.
I think, first of all, so let me answer this in my honest opinion.
Yeah.
At first I would say yes, but then I would reluctantly jump in because I don't want to get jumped trying to help someone, stop someone from jumping on someone. And then I get caught up in the melee. So these ain't the times like, when you and I was growing up.
Right.
Where you actually had some people who would stop it, not take out their way. We didn't have phones like that to start recording.
Right.
World Star and all of that. It was only because the natural love that we have for each other, our brother and sister, that we feel that you are bigger than that. Let's squash that.
Right.
Nowadays, we don't have that.
Right.
And that's a little fault of them not knowing a higher source.
Right.
Whoever it may be, God, Buddha, Allah, whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no love for you because there's not love installed. I mean, yeah, they got love for their brand, their love for their hair, nails, and guys' love for their shorts to be hanging off their butt.
Preach.
But the true love from within is no
Preach.
longer there for your brother or your sister or man or woman.
Yeah. You think
So
you think have you seen girls fighting like this? I mean, rather than online, I'm pretty sure if you live in Milwaukee, you've probably seen
Unfortunately, well, Milwaukee and Chicago, but unfortunately, I have seen the downfall of our sisters getting intertwined and trying to act as gangster as our brothers.
Right.
If not turned up even more, just so you can have a name.
And then the guys.
I'll leave you with this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll leave you with this. Don't get too wrapped up in Trump and this red card because everything he touches fails. And I'm talking about with him rooting for someone like the Knicks.
Yeah.
I truly believe if he had been at that Knicks game, Knicks would have won in 4.
Wow.
But I personally think he set the U.S. men's soccer team up for failure. Because he has so much influence in it that other teams will come out and just demolish them.
They'll come swinging. They'll come out swinging.
They're going to come out swinging, stomping, and playing their best game. Why? Because they feel that this guy is trying to give them a leg up.
Yeah.
Get it? Leg up? Okay.
Yeah, I got you all day.
Real Righteous Milwaukee, love.
Love. Thanks, bro. Man, yeah, I think that's one, yes, I think there's a moral compass that has been displaced. And that's what Black Conscious was talking about, our moral compass with our girls, some of our girls, not all of them, just that tiny bit has been displaced. And we got to try to help them find their way back. So what I'm noticing now is a lot of viral videos where the guys are videotaping. They are sitting around watching like it's a Tank Davis fight, like it's a Mike Tyson fight, like it's a like whatever, a boxing match. Like, okay, let them do that. The guys are doing that, and that's foul. The girls are acting more aggressively than the guys. Like the guys are sitting around, they got their hands in their pocket. And this is where I want to push. This is honestly where I want to push past just pointing this out. Because pointing this out with the guys, their hands in their pocket and stuff like that. But really, there's no consistent adult presence steering them day to day. Honestly. Because an adult presence will guide them. Adult presence will allow them to manage their lives just enough. But then that adult presence will step in and ultimately put the end to them going overboard. And it won't allow them to be the loudest, most aggressive energy in the room, because that adult energy is loud enough. that adult energy is just enough for them to bring it down a little bit. And kids copy whatever is in front of them. So more than likely, most parents aren't that way when their kids are around, majority of the time. But here's my controversial part before we get to our break. And you can disagree with me if you want, but I think some of these girls actually need a consistent, constant male mentorship in their lives. Specifically, not because women can't do it, and definitely not because women aren't capable of providing a strong, loving, warm structure and real discipline. Has nothing to do with that. But I think some of these girls, specifically some of these girls in some specific homes, need a particularly kind of steady, grounded male energy that has been completely absent. It's been completely absent in their lives. And it leaves a hole. Without having a consistent male structure, consistent male pattern in the home, it leaves a large hole. You can ask any woman who it has grown up Yes, we're back. That beat is fire. That's that I'm rolling the Cadillac beat. Something, man, like Cadillac Coupe de Ville. This is the Grapevine. We're about to pick some grapes. I'm your host, Manon Sabeer, and thank you for picking these grapes with me. I'm excited because we're hitting a topic I've been waiting to hit for a really long period of time. We're talking about it, and we're going to expose it a little bit. And I might dig a little deeper later on this week about this particular topic, because I think our girls, and I'm raising one right now, and I know there is a difference. There's a difference when you look at young girls who have a dad, an active, consistent, constant drip of dad in their life, versus young girls who do not. There's a complete difference, and you know it. You see it. There's a calmness. There was a lady, I forgot her name. She was a researcher, and she said she did an entire research study based around young girls and dads, and how, and from her contention, she said that dads in young girls' lives are more important, and this is not my words, those are her words, are more important in a young girl's life than moms. That's what she said, literally from her research. She wasn't saying like mothers don't matter. She's not saying that mothers should not be around. What she was saying is that the structure that a dad provides is best suited for young girls when the type of structure is best suited for young girls when they go out into the world. That's really what she was saying. And a lot of it, I can agree to it. I can definitely agree to it. A lot of it. So, were you at Summerfest when these young girls were fighting? And what did you do? Or did you see the videos of these young girls fighting? And what did you say to yourself? How did you react? I want to understand. We need to find some solutions to this. We need to really find some solutions to this. It's not just, yeah, we're gonna fix it. I'm gonna, talk to these girls at the schools and stuff like that. No, it's deeper, because this has to come from parents, mentors, teachers, coaches, even young women who grew up with and or without their father and or some structure in their house. There has to be some real boundaries, because the boundaries were broke. The boundaries were broken this weekend. There has to be some steady. I believe there has to be some steady male presence in these young girls' lives. So before I move all the way on, I think I'm gonna go one. I think I'm gonna go one layer deeper. I think we need to talk about. It's beyond. It's past these kids nowadays. It's just passe conversation. I think it's beyond the attitude and the behavior. I think there's something even more, way deeper than what we can imagine. I think it's something physical happening in our community. I think it's something underneath all of these layers. I think is physical. I think doctors and researchers have been they've been noticing this for years, that girls are hitting puberty earlier, and this is effective. What's going on in our kids' brains and their bodies is effective. It's the input from the outside, the cereal, the music, the everything is affecting our young kids and the generations of how they're being affected at what age, at younger and younger ages. It's growing. It's becoming generational. Kids are getting their periods at a younger age. They're becoming mothers at younger ages. Even they're becoming grandmothers at younger ages. So when you look at what's being studied as possible reasons behind that shift, it's food is a constant. Food is coming up as something that's being studied over and over and over again. It almost reminds you of Groundhog Day. The sheer amount of processed food, added sugar, and hormone affecting ingredients in a lot of what's cheap, convenient, and available in our neighborhood specifically, the food swamp, is going into our kids. So when we look up and we ask ourselves, man, my daughter is, what's going on with her? Why is she act whatever? It's not just because of natural chemical, ailments, not even ailments, but natural chemical reactions and, whatever else is biological that's going on in their body. It's not just this natural piece. You can try to chalk it up to that, because it's such on a wide scale, part of the generation, that's what's going on. But all of their generation, if you take away the food, their biology will start to, their inflamed biology will start to die out, and they'll just be regular kids. But because we have hormone affecting foods, and they've made them so powerful that one bite can alter the genes in your body. One bite. It is studied over and over again. Now you add generational trauma on top of all of this. You add not just trauma from 20 years ago, but generational trauma from 100 years ago. And some of that being shook out right now. Plus a household that may be under stress. And then this girl has to grow up with knowing that she's in a fight or flight mode. She's trying to survive versus trying to thrive. So all of us know that dealing with financial stress, inability to process trauma effectively, all of that is stacking up on our young girls' minds. And then she's trying to understand this altered state of body. She's trying to figure out her own body. And I'm not a woman because I don't know what's going on inside the bodies, but I want to hear from some women now whether or not it's like that. Like, do you feel like you are inundated with so much information? Do you feel like you're inundated with so much information that that when your body is going through so much, you have to like break through these psychological and physical barriers in order to figure out what's going on with your body? I know everybody, it's 8 billion people on earth. Everybody has bodies that respond differently. But if you bite into a McDonald's Big Mac, if you bite into a McDonald's, I'm gonna even take it a little further. If you bite into a McDonald's French fry, they said one French fry from McDonald's is like smoking one cigarette. This literally just came out. One French fry is like smoking one cigarette. So I also want to be fair and extra careful here because this next part is sensitive, is really sensitive. So when you put all of that, you talk about hormonal birth control, the Depo shot, where there have been documented cases of young women having experienced side effects like mood changes, weight changes, bone density changes, with long-term use in particular. And that's genuinely worth a real conversation with a real doctor. Now, I'm not a doctor, but there's some things going on. There's some real things going on. When I come back, I'm gonna go to the chat in YouTube. We're gonna talk about this. We're really gonna talk about this because I think there's something here, and it needs to be exposed. It needs to be exposed over and over and over again. We'll be back in 2 on the Grapevine.
The performing arts do more than entertain. They bring the community together. From live performances and arts education to free community events, UPath helps support the organizations that...
Welcome back. Welcome back. This is the Grapevine, and we're picking some more grapes. And today's show is sponsored by American Family Insurance. It's a proud sponsor of The Truth. Since 1927, they've been committed to helping families protect what matters the most with the right home and auto coverage built around your real life, because when you've worked hard to build something, you want protection that works just as hard for you. That peace of mind means you're free to focus on your goals, your family, and the dreams you're chasing. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. Yes. And you guys, we're talking about young girls and what's been going on, what has been a phenomenon-like switch of young girls fighting each other. This is all over the country, though. This is not just one this is not just Milwaukee. I'm talking about Milwaukee in particular, but it's not just Milwaukee. It's a number of individuals that are fighting, and a number of girls that are fighting. But then we have people who are sitting around, guys who are watching it. That's what we were talking about. But then I flipped the subject to what is going on biologically in our girls' bodies for us to understand how effective this biological change is making them, what's going on. Like, I know that food affects your mood, but does it really do this? Like, this is real. This is real. It's almost unbelievable. I know food affects our mood, but it's almost unbelievable how controlling food is. And this brings me to my next segment, What the Health. And I wanted to explore mood food in a cool fashion, man. Like, I think that we want our summer bodies as individuals. We want to look good. We want to, go to our picnics and all this other good stuff, but we ain't touched the salad yet. We ain't touched the salad yet. Not at all. Like, some of y'all had a New Year's resolution and you like, man, I'm about to eat salads. I'm gonna drink some green juices, drink some green smoothies twice a week. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna go to the gym, and then you go to JJ's Fish and Chicken or Sharks, or you go to wherever you go to the lemon pepper wing spot on the corner, and you knocking down them lemon pepper wings twice a week. And I'm not saying my plate is perfect, but let's talk healing first. And I think we're gonna skip right past this part every single year, and we're gonna jump out to the workouts and the diet. So getting a summer body isn't just about arms and abs. A lot of us look at our abs, we're like, man, how can I lose this if you're grabbing something, whatever. But it's not that. It's healing. It's healing on the inside. You got to heal what's on the inside first. You got to heal that mind first. So that part is going to take a little longer and it gets more ignored more. Like, it gets ignored. If you're not consistent and you're carrying stress or grief and that you never processed, then that processed food that your body has to process ain't processed. It ain't getting processed. So you just putting process on the process. You just putting process on the process. It's stress on the stress. So you got to get rid of one of the things that you are stressed about. At the very least, confront it. Confront it. Like if it shows up in your face, it shows up in your energy, confront it. Like, real life. So you have to ask yourself, what am I actually carrying right now that I need to finally put down? What am I carrying right now that I need to put down? So let's talk about food and mood. And it's real simple. No big fancy words. Just what I know from living life and watching my own people. And I gotta be honest and upfront with y'all. Before I say another word, I'm not here to talk bad about soul food at all. So this segment is not that. It's not that. I'm not talking about soul food. So don't get me wrong. Soul food is soul food. It hit the soul. It make you feel good. But what I notice is when we're eating the soul food, and I'm going to have a little fun with it, when you're eating the soul food, it makes you feel good, but then afterwards you feel heavy. And You have think about the plate. You think about the smothered chicken, macaroni and cheese with the crust on top, candy yams, collard greens, and or for the summertime, because people won't get on me. Summertime is the barbecue chicken and the macaroni salad and whatever else. And you may have leftovers. You may have that plate that you froze, or grandma's like, come by, get you another plate, and she got it all laid out. And it looks like a Sunday dinner every single day. But you know that your body is going to feel it. And you ignore the warning signs. You ignore these warning signs of your body knowing that it's going to get heavy after you talk about all this stuff. And then some of y'all, after you finish the plate, like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, you make that potato chip run. You make that, you go to the grocery, go to the bodega, the corner store, whatever, and you grab that those bags of potato chips, and then you knock those out, or the Annihilators, or the Skittles, or the king size Snickers, and rightfully so. You have the right to enjoy yourself, but then your body starts to wind down. Your body starts to get heavy. You go to sleep. You wake up and you're like, man, I really, you like, I can't poop. I can't poop. It's stuck. And then when you try to go sit down on the toilet, it don't float. That's one of the ways in which you know that your body has oxygen. When you try to get rid of all that food, and your body's supposed to be alkaline and it's really acidic, is if your poop floats to the bottom of the toilet. If your poop floats to the bottom of the toilet, then you are acidic. But if your poop floats to the top of the water, then you have high levels of oxygen in your body. That's how you know that you're eating some really good food. Now, I'm gonna bring in alcohol. 1 or 2 drinks, I understand, in your lifetime. Some of you are drinking 1 or 2 drinks per day, 1 or 2 drinks per week, and what studies have been showing, especially recently, studies have been showing that alcohol has been a number 1 driver for many different types of cancer. You got colorectal cancer, you have liver cancer, you have stomach cancer, you have different that has been linked to those ailments. And so if you are drinking, if you are a drinker, if you drink alcohol, you like it, especially when you're out, you having fun, it's hot outside, it's 105 degrees right now. Maybe not right now. Milwaukee is probably 75, 78. And you drinking and you knocking it back. Just remember that alcohol has to go somewhere. It has to go somewhere. It doesn't just it doesn't just sit there. That alcohol has to burn the nerves that sit in your stomach that are connected to your brain, and it keeps singeing those nerves, and it keeps eating those nerves up over and over and over and over again. Let alone you got chicken, you got beans, greens, chicken, gravy. You got all beans, greens. Do we got that? We got that beans, greens, chicken, gravy. You got all that just sitting, and it's just sitting on your stomach, and you're not even noticing that it's acidic. So last thing, this is why I'll conclude my what the health section. Last thing on food and drink. Coffee and energy drinks. And look, I'm not touching your, like, I do coffee. There's times I do coffee, yes. So I ain't going to come for that too much. But if you're running all day on caffeine instead of actual real sleep, then you just borrowing energy your body doesn't actually have stored up. So that's like the bill that always comes back to collect eventually. That's the jitters, the afternoon crash. That's you reaching for another energy drink. Straight up. So I'm gonna continue to. I like this topic, and I'm gonna continue to talk about it. We're gonna continue to talk about it later on in some more What the Health segments. When we come back into, we're gonna continue on our young girls and what's going on. How we
at the store, they will love what they see and they will fall in love with what they see.
Stop by and you might even see Shaq himself, or maybe even a hologram of him.
A beautiful, sexy hologram. It's a hologram, a beautiful, sexy hologram.
I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Yes, welcome back to the Grapevine. I'm your host, Manon Sabeer, and I'm going to go to the chat real quick. Forgot about watch back. Said, how fast will we forget about Trump? Yes, how fast we forget. He pulls the wool over a lot of people's eyes. The real McCoy Ward says, so true. Enjoy a Black Conscious said, let's not forget that a lot of these kids have been tested for lead poisoning. That's true. A lot of kids have been tested for lead poisoning. As a matter of fact, there is possible links to different types of chemicals coming through our water, no matter how clean the water may seem or how clear the water may look. It is quite possibly you can't get everything out of the water, even if it's filtered at some water treatment facility with the best water. The water still gets to us. The water still gets to us. Whatever is in that water, and then whatever is in that water, we ingest it through our skin. We ingest it through different, mechanisms. This is what happens. All of us. That's why they put up that $122 million water treatment garbage facility right there in the middle of the lake to collect all the garbage, because the garbage that we had in the Milwaukee area, some of those toxins were leaking into the water and it was coming to us. They do this. It's all over the world. This is happening all over the world. Water is the new war, and we're the people who are not paying attention to it. I'm gonna give people a real joyous business to start. If you could start a mini water desalination plant, you can win. You can win. You will be able to win big. A water desalination plant, you can win. Water is the new war. Straight up. Looney 504 said, this generation is done. We have to focus on the one right after this one. There's a lot of truth to that. There's a lot of truth. We have a lot of folks that are actually focused on the next wave, the next level of kids. They're not even focused on these that we see that are growing up and are work. There's a lot of people that are saying that. But is it real? Should we write them off and focus on these 1, 2, 3-year-olds, 5, 6, 7-year-old kids that are impressionable? Is that the question? I mean, is that the answer? I don't know. I want to know. I want to understand. And Sir Chaunt said, incredibly accurate, and kudos to you for bringing this subject matter to light, particularly the poop floating versus sinking. Not only should it float, but it should be 10 inches and reflect a 5-inch stool. Yes, you're right. So we were talking about poop earlier and on the What the Health. And yes, that stool, your your food has, if it goes in, it doesn't need to just stay in. It has to come out. So make sure you're pooping good. Real quick, Al, what's up?
What's up? Let me tell you what's up. See, so a lot of these kids' parents came from the early 2000s. Cocaine babies of the New Jack City area. So, these kids out here going no direction. They just going all everywhere. Some of them got elevators, but they just skipping floors 1, 3, 5, 7, 12, going back down to 2. But you brought up lead water. Some of our parents grew up on lead water where some of the restrictions was next to nothing. And they're not out here doing all this foolishness. So how can they be born in some of the 40s and the 50s and even some of the 60s where the restrictions was really not there, and they're not out here doing all this foolishness? So how is it some of our parents and our relatives who grew up on lead water and lead paint, they ain't out here selling gears and doing all this and having a daughter who has a mouth as a glory hole?
Yeah, man, I'm gonna answer that to you. I'm gonna answer that for you because thanks, Al. I appreciate it. I think there was. So I have a friend in Washington D.C. and he had some access to the water treatment in department in Washington D.C. And if he's listening, I hope he call in because what he was saying was that they found that, and this was a actual article. They said that the water in D.C. not just isn't just the water in not Washington D.C. This is all over the United States, in different parts of the United States. But what he was saying is that the water in D.C. had the most amount of toxins in it, everywhere from different pills like Tylenol, whatever, different types of pills. They even found Viagra traces of Viagra and plastic in the water. So if you're going to the bubbler, you're drinking this water, you're drinking whatever is in this water. So it isn't just the lead, it's everything else that is causing side effects in people that is in this water. That is the issue. It isn't just like, and I'm not a chemist, I'm not a water chemist, but if you have water and the water is, we say what had lead, and I'm gonna go down this rabbit hole, and the water had lead in it in the 40s, 50s, whatever you want to say, is not, those pipes were, I guess, brand new, and that paint was probably brand new, and if it wasn't as potent as it is today. When the lead, the paint is peeling, and our kids are growing up, and they have to deal with so many societal issues. So we're dealing with much more chemically than our parents have ever dealt with, and we're asking our children to sit in classes and learn, a lesson when not all of our kids, but some of our kids aren't even right. They don't even feel right. They wake up and they don't even understand their total emotional manuscript. They don't understand it at all. So there's a lot to be said about this, and I'm concerned that if we write our kids off, and this is the antithesis to what we were saying, is if we write our kids off, then we may have a large issue at hand. We may have a really larger issue at hand. And I don't want to just, lay it down like that, but I want to understand, if there's a call to action, what do we actually do? What do we actually do? Like, that's why you have shows like this where people are, we're espousing these subjects and we're exposing what is below the surface, but what do we actually do? Is interrupting is interrupting a viable option for our children, or do we need a kind of a more wedged approach? Do we have to say to our families out here, man, look, we got kids who need mentors. Guys, we need about 400, we need 800 men to adopt a family. And that's probably more than likely what it takes, because I know when I was younger that I knew guys who actually adopted other families. They would take food they would, run the kids, to the grocery store and or to the shoe store, or that's what this community is about. That is a part of the call to action. But now we have individuals that are doing what? We have individuals that are pulling those resources away from the kids because they feel like it's gonna take away from their pockets. But benevolence always graduates. It always graduates. It never is never, you can never subtract from benevolence at all, from gratitude, from compassion. You can never subtract from it. It always grows. In any environment, always. Hey y'all, when we come back to the Grapevine, I think we're going to discuss the call to action, and we'll be back in 2.
Not me, 'cause I throw hands. Try Jesus, please don't try me, because I'm fine. I know what he said about getting slapped, but if you touch me or mine, we gon' have to scrap. So, try Jesus, please don't try me.
Yo, listen. This has to be the theme song for our young people. Before you even get into it, just tell the person try Jesus, not me. Because I throw hands. And that's all. Sometimes maybe that's just what it needs to take. Just whatever happened to man, don't mess with me. Don't mess with me. I'm gonna get my big sister. She come down, running down the street in some 5411s or whatever. Whatever happened to that? I don't. Is it gone? I don't know. Them days of getting checked by somebody's big sister, I don't know, could be gone. I'm concerned, but we're gonna continue and figure out what do we actually do. I'm gonna go to the chat. Sir Chant says reflects a 5-star stool. That's right. Aragorn 14 Gonder says, what happened to religious beliefs? Are they being taught that? I don't, are kids being taught religious beliefs? Ah, gosh. That's a hard one. I think that a lot of kids probably had enough of religious beliefs because they feel, and from what I know, there have been studies about how kids feel about religion, and they are looking at religion as something that can't answer their modern problems. When in reality, from what I've looked at, that those modern problems and the way they ask about those modern problems are the same type of questions that young people have been asking for ages. And there have been blanket answers, but then there also have been manuscripts in relationship to the Bible, the Quran, and all that have actually answered these particular questions. And so I'm not going to jump into that right now. We can talk about it later, but we could, I think there are answers in those particular faiths, but the words, kids may not understand them, so on and so forth. We could talk about it later, but I don't know if the kids are being taught that. Jasmine Jazz West said, when I saw the videos, I immediately thanked my parents for being good to me and my sister. Yes, I'm happy that my parents were good to me. I got the right amount of love and the right amount of support. Still to this day, still get the right amount of love and the right amount of support. So I want to bring it full circle, because in terms of this question, what do we actually do? Because I don't ever want to just point out problems on this show. I want to leave y'all sitting them in your lap. I don't want to leave them sitting in your lap. I want, people to walk away feeling like they can find a solution on their own and also with other folks. So here's my call to action. I mean, seriously, if you know a young girl that's out here without structure, without a steady hand guiding her through her days, don't wait around for a program. Don't wait around for a radio show. Don't wait around for a YouTube clip. Don't wait around for a social media page. Don't wait around for none of that. Don't wait around for anybody, anywhere. Go pick that little girl, that young girl up, and make sure she's connected to you. Make sure that she is in the right programs. Make sure that she is, you even check your character at the door. You check your character, and the people that are around you, make sure you check their characters. Because if you bring that little girl around your people, if you bring that little girl around your folks, they need to be checked at the door. They can't be, cozying up next to that young girl, because our young girls now have, and always have been exposed to too much. And we have to stop the exposure. There is so much input with our young girls that they're in terms of their selves, they're collecting too much data. And we need to stop and put a pause on all of this information that they're taking in and take care of them and allow them to live the lives of little girls. And we call them little girls because they're younger than us. But they need to be taken from this information, this outside information, and given real proper guidance, real proper, information from not just a woman, but also from guys themselves. And this may be real, and I said this earlier, this may be real controversial, but the guys need to step up, and the young girls need to see that this is not the way that we treat our young folks. This is not the way we're not absent individuals. We are strong, structured, disciplined individuals with a mentality to help not just our families, not just ourselves, but our communities at large. So today we talked about food and mood. We had a little bit of Summerfest on the side. I'm saying to y'all, if you if you're out there, you got, and this is part of my call to action, and you're feeding our young folks, then make sure that you are doing this with compassion, with love, and warmth. Today's show is sponsored by What the Business Is. Looking to discover and support local businesses in our community? Then make sure you tune in every Friday, 8 a.m. to The Truth in the Morning with Homer Blow and Bailey Coleman for What the Business Is, powered by We Energies. Each week, you'll hear from local business owners as they share what their business is, where they're located, and one valuable lesson they've learned along the way. We Energies is proud to help power local businesses and the communities they serve. Don't miss What the Business Is every Friday at 8 a.m. only on Truth in the Morning with Homer Blow and Bailey Coleman, powered by We Energies, delivering the energy that powers local business. Get ready. 101.7 The Truth Family Fest is back. Join us Saturday, August 22nd from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Riverside University High School for free back-to-school resources, live entertainment, family activities, and community fun. Vendors and sponsors can reserve a spot by emailing sierra.brown@milwaukeeblackmedia.com. That's CIERRA.brown@milwaukeeblackmedia.com. And I need you guys to be a part of the call to action, because if we are in it together, we can make a change. We can make a change. Milwaukee, this is the show. Today we watched a sitting president use a red card as a stage in soccer. We asked ourselves out loud who really benefits from when power borrows our joy, our sports, our lives for a photo op. Then we came all the way home to our lakefront Summerfest, and we talked about our kids. It has to be something bigger than a fight at the festival. It has to be something bigger. We have to do our own healing that's long overdue. Right down to what's sitting on our plate every day. All of this affects who we are. And here's what I need from you this week, and it's simple. One act of real mentorship, one honest meal, one honest conversation with a young person in your life who might be carrying more than you ever realized that they're carrying. And that's it. Small moves repeated on purpose. That's how we actually change what we saw in them videos this week.